Choose a focus. Let's go for scholarship. I feel like that's the most important this early on. Choose an ambition. What do we want? Do we want to become... Probably exalted amongst men wouldn't be too bad. Ideally grim and air, because that gives fertility bonus. Plus 20% to our fertility, so we'll take that one. Just try and get an air as early as possible. We need to set our crown focus in our capital, and also set up some titles. Chief of Clanawar. Clanawar, I think that might be a reference to Magic the Gathering. How many levels of nerd you on, my dude? Wait. Oh, no, that dude's not in our court yet. Okay, we'll change our court position to that other guy when he gets here, because this guy's only got 14. We can compose a book. Let's do that. Whoops. I didn't want to compose a book, but I suppose building an observatory is also not too bad. Sure, it won't take us long to get 50 gold. We don't actually have a 0 monthly income. It needs to run for a month before we know how much gold we're getting. Let's go ahead and just give out these titles to people who aren't a big fan of us. We're going to be struggling with rebellions. We're going to be struggling with rebellions a lot in this game because obviously we've got a different culture and a different religion to more or less everybody else in the game. So we do need to keep people on side. We need to be quite frequent with that. Court tutor. Master diplomat seems a good choice as a court tutor, to be honest. The issue definitely is that once we're done with scholarship, we're essentially going to have to stay on rulership focus our entire lives, because that gives bonus to vassal opinion. It also gives us, you know, just, gregarious, patient, diligent, all the good traits. We're going to be sort of limited. We're going to be pigeonholed more or less into stewardship just so we don't get rebellions every 30 seconds for being different to everyone else. Racists. Council is very discontent. Why are you Melchizedek? It's just because you don't like me. Oh, short reign bonus is massive. So we are going to take some majesty so we can cancel that out. So that maximum it goes to -5. That's probably not worth an investment in that case. It's more valuable, I assume, to go into noble custom just to give that flat opinion buff. So that gives a +12, which more than cancels out the majesty. Obviously, the bonus from that is favor and prestige. Now, we do need favor to cast spells. So you cast spells through both. Oh, obviously, we need to let it tick for a bit, actually, before I can explain some of these other mechanics. All right, what do we need to do? Well, let's send you studying tech. There is actually nowhere to study tech from. Brilliant. I think we just need to let time tick. I think I've done everything I can while it is paused. As long as we are proselytizing as soon as possible, it's not a big deal. Alright, we will play on more or less max speed all the time, just so we've constantly got things to do. Alright, there's our new dude. I sent him a gift so he doesn't leave anytime soon. You can be our court mage as well, and I'm also going to make you our physician. Just because you've got incredibly high learning. You're sacked. So this dude should hopefully, yeah, 67. 3 likes is a fair amount. Let's go ahead and have you proselytizing. So we've actually only got our capital and Stonefall that aren't... Oh no, this one isn't either. We can't proselytize that though for some reason. Alright, we'll fix that later on. We do want to set, however, we got quite low prestige. Let's set this up a little different now. Can we study tech anyway? Are we all the same tech level at this start point of the game? Let's have a look. More or less, yeah, the Imperial Isle is very, very slightly, as you can see, like, that's ours, and if we hover the mouse over, they're very, very slightly above us in economy. Alright, so everyone's on the same playing field. It's a little bit of a shame, but it's not a huge problem. What else was I going to do while we're waiting for time to tick? Well, we need to pick a patron deity. We'll go ahead and select that for when it's available. We really could do with some prestige. Do any of these give a bonus to our monthly prestige? No. We have you research in military tech. I did briefly talk about this last time I played, but a lot of people I've noticed, particularly people I play with, never pick research military tech, never pick research economy tech, and never pick research cultural tech because they only give as their active effect spread rate. But you do have a chance of getting tech points from them. Obviously, spread rate is pretty valuable towards the end game. But you do have a chance of getting additional points from, you know, you can see their military theory, military secrets revealed. We've only got a 5% chance of getting either of those two every year, so it's very low, but as we're an elf over 100 years, eventually we're statistically likely to get one. I'm actually going to collect taxes with this one. Although, Administer Realm early on is probably a better call. I'm gonna change that when we can. 10th of Hearthfire. A famous writer proposed to compose your family chronicles. Let's go ahead and say sure. Although we're saving up for a book, we do have +1 land now from our observatory. That's pretty quick. Please report that your subject has converted to Oriel. Alright, sweet. So just keep an eye on our neighbours, make sure none of them get too powerful. Baldon is already pretty powerful here. 797 men. I can now show off the Magicka because we have had some time tick. So this denotes how much, obviously, magic you've got available. You get that it says there, as you can see. You can store up to 2 points per magic, per point of personal learning. If we've got 39, so obviously we got 74, 39 times 2. Rounded. That's a good point. Hang on a second. 39 times 2, is that 74? Close enough. Yeah, I don't know why it's 74. Weird. Anyway, that will tick up every month and give us a flat value. I'm not sure how much it is per month. We'll see if we can catch it here. You spent many nights looking into the celestial bodies of your observatory. It's truly fascinating. There are so many questions to ask. I'm going to say, what secrets does Oblivion hold? Now, this opens up quite a large part of this mod. Or it'll just crash. I suppose it'll just crash. Alright. It's very rare for this mod to crash, so kind of surprised there. Alright, let's just reboot it. I'm hoping OBS will pick it back up without me having to... No? Okay, sure. I will redo it all then. Enjoy this black screen for a minute. I'm not editing this out. I'm not putting any effort into this. Hey, there we go. Alright. Will enough time have passed for that to save? I really hope that's saved, otherwise I'm not going to be very happy at all. My tendies. Maybe it crashed because it was saving. That's probably the best. The best case scenario, right? Autosave. I think we're good. Yeah, okay, sweet. Whew. Good start. Okay. Like I was saying, let's keep an eye on that Magicka. Okay, 78 Magicka. It's worked out probably this time. So we've got 10 Magicka now, and if we go ahead and click Open Spellbook, this opens up 2 sub-menus. First on the character sheet, because we're a Master Mage and Master Sorcerer, we have access to pretty much every spell we could hope for. There are a lot. Some have some tooltip issues. Cure Disease Symptom obviously makes sense. You know, you don't have to worry about that. However, when you click on them, they do give, as you can see here, weird tooltips. There's an issue with the tooltips lining up with the right option. Generally, this one is the weakest. This one is the strongest. These ones seem to be working all right, though. This isn't to impart strategic mastery to your target. So we could... The High Place of Ministry will yield their secrets to me. I assume that will give us mountainous expertise. I suppose we could take that early on. Terrain Mastery, Jungles and Vale and Woods. There we go. That's pretty useful. And that will expire at some point. So for 10 years, we now have experts of jungles. That seems like a pretty good defensive trait, accidentally, to show off early on. You know, you can fortify your different stats. So Speechcraft is obviously diplomacy. You can construct building, reduces build cost and time. You can see on the tooltip there, it will tell you what they do. It's only when you actually open the menu they can be a bit strange. Charisma, improvement of the character's opinion of you. Oh, I didn't know you could just directly increase their... Go ahead and give our wife a gift. I didn't know you could actually improve direct opinion like that. So the other menu it opens up is here, which gives you... This is more about summoning things. Summon a ghost fleet, so you will summon, you know, up to the closest body of water, a fleet that will be permanent. You don't pay upkeep. You don't pay upkeep on these either, so they can be quite powerful. So 10 Magicka and 100 Favor will let you spawn roughly about 5 boats, but there are scaling factors inside the spell, so you could summon 25 boats for, say, 50 Magicka or something like that. You summon Dromora for 8 Magicka. You summon like a small standing army. Being a mage is quite overpowered in this. I don't know if the ruler designer is what they intended for you to be able to do. But, you know, like I said, we're just looking to be as overpowered as possible, so it's not too much of an issue for this. 30% chance of getting intelligent? No such luck. Alright, well that's not a big deal. Like I said, once we've finished with scholarship, we do want to move straight on to the stewardship bonus. We've got plotting right here. Kidnap Fengrin. I don't know who that is, and I don't really care. The dusty text you perused earlier had some useful information, but nothing important. To really delve into the mysteries of Oblivion, you need to hire a scholar, specializing in all matters Daedric. We're going to do this, just because it allows me to show off a massive mechanic this game adds, that you don't really see very often. You can actually really only get it through this event easily. So basically, which Daedric prince do we want to know? Well, we're a learning-based character, we're a mage. So we're going to go for Hermaeus Mora, which is like the Daedric prince of secrets and knowledge. Here we are. After some searching, I managed to contact the enigmatic Ketdea, who claims to have made bargains with Hermaeus Mora in the past. She's willing to help me learn. We can just click that one and that'll just let us carry on the event chain. Or we can click, there is much more about Hermaeus I would like to learn. We start practicing the cult of Hermaeus Mora in secret. We are going to do that. Not because we want to be part of the cult of Hermaeus Mora or anything, because it opens up an option here, the equivalent of the China interaction in this game, which we'll go into in a second. Firstly, I want to write a book. You choose a theme related to learning. We absolutely want to do that. So that's going to take a hell of a long time. It takes about 10 to 20 years to write a book. And you get different events that affect the quality of the book as we progress. We really want to just try and stock up a treasury full of learning, buffing items. So let's open up this. Now this is the equivalent of China. So rather than making deals with China, you're making deals with a Daedric prince. It's quite cool. It's got this really nicely built interface as well. And just like China, he has different outlooks and current events that affect him. So right now he's interactive. So Daedric Prince is quite interested in the ongoings of Nirn and open to making bargains with mortals. That means we can make deals with them. Obviously, you know, in China can close its borders, close communication, which means you can't get boons. It's the same in this. So the Daedric Prince can, I think they call it looking inwards or something like that. So you can't actually make deals with it at that point. And this is how powerful they are. So now they're Ascendant, which is roughly like the normal, the status quo. As it says there, the realm is currently in its status quo. They can become waxing and waning. So waxing is obviously they've got stronger power, waning their power is decreased. I don't know what influences that. I think it's just RNG. So at random points he'll get weaker and stronger. We can make deals with Hermaeus Mora now. So we can, you know, make him an offering, which is gold, I believe. Yeah, 33 gold. Offer him an artifact, which gives you a flat, I think, 300 to 600, depending on the quality of the artifact. Sacrifice prisoners. Kind of a cheaty thing to do, actually. If you've got somebody in your dungeon you don't like, but you want to execute them, say a vassal, obviously you'd incur a tyranny penalty in the base game. Just sacrifice them to Hermaeus Mora. Why the fuck not? No one knows them. It's like I said, kind of overpowered. You can ask for a boon. Now each Daedric Prince has specific boons you can claim. There are 13 or so to worship in this. So it's actually quite worth going between them. Hermaeus Mora's unique ones, though, are the Ogma Infinium, which is his obviously like magical book, which gives you learning, prestige, and favor. We can also consult a black book, which takes you on an adventure to get stat buffs at the end of it. And that's 1500 Ardor. That one gives us... That one's 8,000 Ardor if you're immortal. So if you're immortal, obviously, for balance purposes, you have to spend twice as long to earn the favor to get these boons. It's arguably more difficult because you're immortal, you've still got a chance of dying in battle and things like that. So our current Ardor, we don't actually really get any buffs with him. If we were a scholar, a mystic, theologian, we'd get more. Erudite obviously would give bonuses. Depending on the Daedric god and what they're about, affects the traits that give you more currency to spend with him. Anyway, this is sort of like his representative. Emperor Kashti, the cautious of the cult of Hermaeus Mora. That's essentially the religious head. He's a Dremora, apparently. Looks like a dark elf, but apparently it's a Dremora. Anyway, that's one aspect of this game. We're not going to openly worship Hermaeus Mora. We've already got enough problems with religion as it is without, you know, actively worshipping a Daedric god. What we are going to do is summon as many Dremora as possible, because like I said, Dremora are a standing army that you don't pay tax on. You don't get many, as I'll demonstrate here. Castle Life version spell, we got 185. We also don't want to be commanding them permanently. But over time, a permanent standing army with only 185 men over many years will add up to, 1,000 men or so. Even though it's not a huge amount, we can rival these people, although they will die and not reinforce as well. It's just a good defensive plan to keep summoning lots of Dremora. Speaking of which, Hermaeus Mora, God, how do I pronounce his name? Hermaeus Mora, there we go, power waxing. So he's now more powerful, which means sacrifices offerings are more valuable. Or it says here triumphant rather than waxing. So that would make more sense. We're now known as the cautious. Why are we the cautious? Because we're cynical, maybe? I don't know why that is. Anyway. So our studies is from the scholarship is proving fruitful. Might get some points here. Looks like we get military points. Lately I've become afraid that something might want to hurt me. I'm thinking about hiring 2 food tasters. Maybe a bodyguard would be a good idea. Going straight paranoid. It's not too bad. Trusting, however, gives vassal opinion. Although with people trying to kill us, or I should say people not like us, +5 for a much greater chance of being murdered. I'm going to go for the paranoid. We did get it. I wonder if that affects... You're paranoid. Okay, that's pretty convenient. It does give us an additional bonus to our gifts from Hermaeus Mora. We will explore more of these later on. So we've got some prosperity events here. We will go through with all of those because they are pretty great. So we gain Mystic. We'd have preferred to gain Scholar, I think, but we'll take Mystic because that, I imagine, will, again, there you go, you are a Mystic, gives bonuses with Hermaeus Mora.